Alright, I'm just gonna come on here and talk because I just want to. It's not a dance video. Wow, I'm not posting a dance video. I'm talking. There's something I'm just highly confused about. I'm an actress, okay? And I've written my fair share of fanfics on Wattpad. So let's just say I'm a writer for, I've written whole books, like chapters on chapters on chapters, I like writing, and the thing about writing, what every writer knows is you write what you know, right? Um, Sia has written a screenplay called Music about an autistic girl, right? And I guess she wrote it with some other guy. I just looked him up. Okay, I don't see anywhere where it says he's autistic himself. Sia's not autistic. What doesn't make sense to me is why you are writing this at all in the first place. You're not autistic yourself. You obviously have no experience with autistic people. What makes you want to, like, when I think of what I want to write, I think about my own passion, right? If you don't have a passion, you don't have experience with something, how do you even have passion for it? That's what I'm like not computing in my brain, and maybe I want your opinion on that too. So the thing about her movie is she directed this movie, and it very poorly displays autism. Now, I don't know anything about autism, okay? I do know autism is a huge spectrum. There's high functioning, low functioning. Apparently, the girl in the movie was nonverbal, so that means that she doesn't talk. Therefore, she's more on this side, right? It doesn't make sense to me. What the purpose was. Okay, so obviously I do have experience with mental illness, and I'm also an actress, and I've written my fair share of Wattpad stories. But you write what you know, right? So that's why it's not computing in my brain as a person who does like to write. I would never think to be like, let me just write about something I know absolutely nothing about, right? Does that, like, am I the only one confused here? So I've suffered from an eating disorder basically all my life, and there's misconceptions about eating disorders, okay? Vanity being one of them. Like, oh, you just don't eat because you want to be pretty and thin. It's about being pretty. Now, I've watched a lot of eating disorder movies. Most of them, the director has experienced it, the writer has experienced it, and sometimes, a lot of the times, the actress herself experienced it. And that's why I think it's so well done, because your brain, you know what you go through as a person with eating disorder, so you can write it on the page, right? So when I watch those movies, it doesn't feel disgusting or offensive, because they're showing that it's not about vanity at all. It's about control, it's about OCD, it's anxiety, it's terrible, right? So the purpose of writing something like that as a person who has gone through it, I would say, would be to raise awareness, breaking those stereotypes, right? And then also trying to help somebody out there with it. So to be like, hey, you're not alone. Look at this. I went through this. Look at this. And then in the end, yeah, usually they resolve and get help. And so when you are portraying real life, here's what I don't get. Some people are just like, it's just a movie. It's just a movie. These people are acting like the media doesn't affect us in any way. Life imitates art, art imitates life, vice versa. You have a responsibility when you are portraying real life on screen about something that's serious. Like, you can do comedy or whatever. Yeah, okay, stereotypes are in comedy or whatnot, whatever. But when you are literally like trying to portray something that's real, you need to be respectful of that. You have a responsibility to show the real side of that. And to me, you just don't have business, you don't have any business doing that when you literally don't know anything about it. So apparently Sia came out and was like, well, I did try to work with an autistic person and they were just too hard to work with. And it's just like, why would you say that? girl, girl, you are ruining it even more. Like, do you know how ableist that sounds? Like, you're already making people more angry by saying that she was just too hard to work with. You know what I think? I think that the girl who was really autistic probably read the script, saw the things that she had to do, and was like, I'm not really like comfortable with this, feels weird, I wouldn't do this, blah 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 blah. And see, it was like, I'm not rewriting my movie, this is my movie that I want, this is how I want it to be, so I'm gonna get somebody that's gonna portray it how I want it, versus listening to a person who has real experience with it telling you, hey, this isn't right. So basically, I would like your opinion. Do you agree with me that it doesn't make sense that you would write about something you obviously don't know anything about or have any connection to? As for the acting thing, I am an actress myself. Obviously, I played a pregnant woman before. I've never been pregnant, but I still felt it. I still was like, I'm gonna walk a certain way, blah blah. You know what I'm saying? I played a woman from the 1950s or whatever. I don't know what it's like to live in the 1950s, but obviously as an actor, you internalize it, you bring out that empathy, you use those as ifs, but there are certain things, especially when the fucking script is already broken, an actor cannot do, like you can't. Me personally, could I play somebody with an eating disorder? Yes, but would I, because it's triggering? No. But if somebody asked me to play somebody on the spectrum, I would be like, yeah, I don't know anything about that, and I don't think I could even talk to somebody and learn enough, possibly, but I don't think so. You know what I mean? And I think at the end of the day, the script is the biggest part for an actor. You can have a phenomenal, we've seen it before, phenomenal actors in shit ass movies, because you can't really do much when the script is already bad. So yeah, what I'm saying is that I don't necessarily think, you have to be this or that to play this or that in certain situations. Obviously, you can't hire a white man to play Martin Luther King Jr., right? Like, right? Like, obviously not. But, you know, Forrest Gump was one of the biggest, movies or whatever. Tom Hanks, he's not really disabled. Um, yeah, I feel like it's a very weird situation, and I can't see any other reason of doing it than to just profit off of something that you don't know anything about, right? And the fact that she was just like, well, she was just too hard to work with. And apparently she replied to somebody in a tweet, because they were like, actually, I am an actor and I'm on the spectrum, and I reached out to you. A whole bunch of people reached out to you to recast, and you ignored us. And apparently she replied, well, maybe you're just a bad actor. But then you see the movie that she made, right? Okay. So yeah, this is very weird to me. And it kind of frustrates me, because obviously I'm not personally offended because I'm not autistic myself, but I do know what media does. Media, when it's portrayed like this in a realistic, it's supposed to be a real world situation or whatever, it needs to be done respectfully. You have a responsibility. You're portraying real people in a way, right? You're portraying real life experiences, and to just do it so willy-nilly, you know yeah, that's kind of fucked up. So what do you all think? I don't think it's just a movie is justified. Okay, we have so many stereotypes perpetuated by media itself. Okay, you can't just pretend like the media doesn't affect the way you view things in the world, because it just does. So yeah. All right, that's all. Thanks for watching.